Hello, and welcome back to The Context Window. I'm Noah.
And I'm Millie. It's good to be back with you all.
It is, and Millie, I have to say, our last episode on loneliness and emotional load, it was a heavy one, in a good way, but it left me thinking.
Me too. It sits with you, doesn't it, when you start to notice all that weight we carry around?
And that's really the perfect pivot into what we want to talk about today, because once you're aware of that weight, the next question is, what does the mind do with it? Where does all that energy go?
Right, it doesn't just vanish, it gets processed. Or, well, sometimes it just gets churned. And that churning is what we're calling today's episode, Overthinking, Why Our Mind Won't Stay Quiet.
The churn. I like that word for it, because it's not always productive, is it? It's just motion, that constant hamster wheel in the brain.
Yeah, you know the feeling. You send an email and then spend the next 2 hours rereading it in your sent folder. Or you replay a slightly awkward conversation from last Tuesday over and over again while you're trying to fall asleep.
Oh, absolutely. The post-mortem on a conversation that nobody else even remembers. I'm very familiar with that.
We all are, and I think we've been taught to see this as a flaw, a personal failing. You think too much, or just let it go. It's treated like a bug in our software.
Right, that it's something to be fixed, like you just need to find the off switch.
Exactly. But what if we reframe that? What if overthinking isn't a flaw, but a feature? A really misguided and often unhelpful, but well-intentioned feature.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How is replaying a dumb thing I said at a party a feature?
Well, think about it from your brain's perspective. Its primary job, above all else, is to keep you safe, to avoid danger. And in our modern world, danger isn't usually a lion in the grass. It's social rejection, it's professional failure, it's shame, it's uncertainty.
Emotional danger.
Precisely. So when you replay that dumb thing you said, your mind isn't trying to torture you, it's running a simulation. It's trying to figure out, okay, that felt bad. How do we make sure that never, ever happens again? It's analyzing the data to create a new rule for future social interactions. It's a protective strategy. The problem is, it gets stuck in a loop. The analysis never ends because there's no perfect solution.
So it's an attempt to control the future by dissecting the past.
Yes, that's a beautiful way to put it. It's the illusion of control. If I just think about this problem from every single possible angle, I can prevent the pain of it surprising me. If I worry about every outcome of this upcoming presentation, I won't be caught off guard.
Okay, but hang on. I want to push back a little here.
Please do.
Isn't some of that just being responsible, thinking things through? If I have a big project, I should be thinking about what could go wrong. That's not a bug, that's just good planning.
That's a fantastic point, and you're absolutely right. There's a huge difference between productive problem solving and unproductive looping.
Okay, so where's the line?
I think the line is where the thinking stops generating new insights or actions and starts just repeating. Productive thinking feels like it's moving forward. You're identifying a risk and you're brainstorming a solution. The client might not like this slide. Okay, I'll prepare a backup version. There's a step.
Right. Actionable.
Yes, overthinking or rumination doesn't move. It spins. It's just, what if they don't like the slide? They're going to think I'm incompetent. I can't believe I used that font. Remember that other time I messed up a presentation? This is going to be just like that. There are no new solutions. It's just a tour of anxiety.
The tour of anxiety. That's very relatable, and often conducted at about 3 in the morning.
Oh, that's prime time. My 3 a.m. problem-solving committee is ruthlessly efficient at finding problems, but terrible at solutions. It's like planning a vacation. The initial planning is productive. You book flights, reserve a hotel. That's problem solving. but then the overthinking kicks in.
So if we accept this frame, that it's a protective instinct gone haywire, what does that actually change? Because it still feels pretty awful.
Yes, you start imagining every possible thing that could go wrong. What if the hotel loses my reservation? What if it rains the entire time? What if I forget to pack my favorite pair of shoes? Suddenly, you're not planning anymore, you're just cataloging potential disasters. It is like your mind is pushing you to a place of fighting with yourself.
How so?
Well, if you see overthinking as a character flaw, your response is frustration. Ugh, why am I like this? I need to stop. You add a layer of judgment and self-criticism on top of the anxiety you're already feeling, which of course just gives the mind more danger to try and solve.
Right, you start overthinking about your overthinking.
The ultimate meta loop. But if you see it as a misguided attempt at protection, you can change your inner dialogue. You can learn to notice it and almost greet it.
Greet it? Like, oh hello there, crippling anxiety spiral, nice to see you again.
Something like that, yeah. A bit less sarcastic, maybe. More like, okay, I see my mind is working really hard to keep me safe right now. It's worried about that presentation. You just acknowledge it. You name what's happening.
That sounds surprisingly simple, and also very difficult.
It is, because the entire goal here isn't to stop the thoughts. That's a losing battle. The goal is to change your relationship to the thoughts, to notice they are happening without getting swept away by them.
You're just observing the churn instead of being in the churn.
That's it. And when you can do that, you can say, "Thank you, mind, for trying so hard to protect me. I see you, but I've got this." It takes the fuel out of the fire. You're not fighting, you're not resisting, you're just unhooking.
It's interesting because this whole conversation is about awareness, not about solutions. We haven't offered a 5-step plan to crush overthinking.
And we're not going to. Because the hunt for a solution is often just another form of resistance. It implies the thing itself is wrong and must be eliminated.
That makes sense.
But if you start with awareness and a little bit of compassion for this very human, very protective part of your brain, you create some space. And in that space, the looping often just quiets down on its own, not because you forced it to, but because it feels seen.
So this all comes back to what we talked about last week, that emotional load. Overthinking is just one of the primary ways the mind tries to manage that load, that feeling of vulnerability or uncertainty.
It really is. It's a coping mechanism. A very tiring, often counterproductive one, but a coping mechanism nonetheless. And it's not the only one.
Which feels like a perfect place to leave a breadcrumb for next time. Because if turning inward and thinking really, really hard is one strategy, the other one is turning outward.
Absolutely. When thinking becomes too exhausting, the alternative is to not think, to find something else. And so next week, we're going to explore that other side of the coin, distraction, the endless hunt for dopamine, and the art of emotional escape.
From the mind that won't stay quiet to the world that won't stop trying to grab our attention, it should be a good one.
Until then, be a little kinder to your 3 a.m. committee. They're just trying to help. And thank you for being here with us. This has been a pleasure.